All right, shalom, and welcome to the Brothers Fellowship. We normally this is our first time broadcasting this, so sometimes, like I've just been told by some brothers, sometimes our discussions get a little heavier than what we can broadcast. So we will do this from time to time. So we just have a few people on Zoom, but hopefully you guys are getting the message that you can tune in to YouTube on this. So rather than us having to monitor a whole lot of people on Zoom going back and forth, you can just go on our regular YouTube channel. Today's topic is warring in the kingdom. We mentioned a little bit yesterday about these new weapons that China has. And if you start adding these things up, you have to look at like the enormous amount of people that China has, period, and that they are spreading out all over the globe, taking over lands, as Kish was saying, that there are places that they have taken over in Jamaica, and then even barring Jamaicans from going in areas where they have taken over, which is really some bold stuff to go in somebody else's country and tell them that they can't come to the places that you have established in their country. But it kind of serves the Euro Gentiles right, and being all about money, they have allowed the Asians to come in and take over all of these things. And we know that Russia and China, when we first start mentioning this, my elder used to mention this 10, 12 years ago, that alliance is very strong. And when you consider now all of these things that they are able to do, it is really pushing toward some serious apocalyptic type things coming upon the earth. The weapon that they tested was this hypersonic glider, which is supposed to move at 4 times the speed of sound or something like that. Go out of the atmosphere and come back in, and then flies lower so that it is undetectable by radar. And for the first time, you've heard Americans, generals, talking as if they are afraid. And before, it was just all this arrogance, God bless America and no place else. This is the greatest country in the world, all of these types of things. But now those things are starting to be said very shaky, because they surprised them with this. But then if we back up to understanding that they have the ability to make biological weapons that will just go and infect certain groups of people, and having all of our DNA, which was, really dumb of any American company. I know a lot of people don't, care for Trump, but there was some truth in a lot of the things that he said, because he was such an idiot and other things that nobody wanted to listen to him. But he kept saying that China, bars us from their country, but they have all of these things going on in ours. And people just, only rednecks was paying attention to that, because people have been programmed that, either you're a Democrat or Republican, you can't listen to the other side. So if you're a Democrat, you can't listen to a Republican. If you're a Republican, you can't listen to a Democrat. So they have to have somebody from each side say the same thing before they'll actually pay attention to it. And this is where it gets interesting for us, because we have joined their armed forces. We've done all of these things. And I remember hearing the countless stories of the people who went to Vietnam, where the people would say, black man, go home. Why are you here? The people that's killing us are the same people oppressing you. Why are you here? And that's just one of those things, man. And a lot of us have family that come back home from Vietnam, and man, they wasn't right. I had, an uncle that the whole entire family was afraid of, you know, because of all the things that they ended up seeing in a war that had absolutely nothing to do with us. Now, if we go, Daniel 7 and verse 18 says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. When we consider that, we have to deal with, yes, Yahweh has given this land to his people. It is the inheritance of the children of Israel. But even though it's ours, we got to take it. And that's something where it's going to get interesting, because you're talking about all of these high-tech weapons that are available. This is what's going to get Yahweh some serious glory, that you have organized armies that have all of these things, but then the power of Yahshua is going to overshadow all of these things. Like, this seems like a really big development in natural land, that they have this hypersonic glider. And then there's one report says that it dropped off a payload. It dropped something. They don't know what it dropped. Now, this so-called sickness that has been going on all over the earth, we know it came directly from them. Now, there are also reports that they had already started studying that they had these world war games, and then they were purposely making sure that people were having this sickness, and that they took that sickness back home to their country. And they didn't even have a name for it at that point, but they knew what they were doing then. So you're talking about some interesting things that they may have already started the war, because at this point, numbers in countries are depleting, that the war may have already been started, but it started on another front. Because understand, the Euro Gentiles did the same thing. They tell us in our social studies book that they thought about giving the Indian smallpox blankets. We know they gave them damn Indian smallpox blankets. Mm-hmm. They told us they thought about it. What you mean you thought about it? Yeah, and then we figured that was too inhuman. No, you didn't. You gave them people them smallpox blankets. You killed them out. That was biological warfare. So if indeed some payload was dropped off, what was in it? What does it have the ability to do? And if something can spread and go all the way across the globe, does it have the ability to drop off some other things on its way around? It's some very interesting questions, which is why we will definitely need help from the Spirit to do these things. I want to start off reading in Jeremiah chapter 51. And Brother Kish, I want you to start that. We're going to read verses 19 through 26. When you consider the children of Israel, we have not gone collectively to war in a enormous amount of time. So when you talk about these things, we have gone and participated in other people's wars. We have participated in things that didn't have anything to do with us. And a lot of times, we joined one side or the other, and then after the war, we was right back in the same situation we was in before the war. Other people got land, other people got all of these other things, and we got placed right back into servitude after losing limbs and all of this, only to come back and be in the same situation. But one thing that we have to notice is some of these smaller countries who you thought that the big countries should just go in and slap them up. That guerrilla warfare is not something that large armies like at all. A large army wants to go head on because they got a bigger force, and they want to go that way. That guerrilla warfare was tearing America up in Vietnam. They pop up one way, shoot about 5 people, jump back down in the hole. Yeah. After that, everybody just going wild. shooting everywhere. Don't know where they're shooting, killing each other. A whole lot died by friendly fire. And that was just the panic of, 3 or 4 people popping up out of the ground, blow up a few things, and go back in the tunnel. And they couldn't figure out where they were. And there was tunnels everywhere. So they just start blowing up stuff, hoping that they can blow up the tunnels. So, that's how a smaller force can end up dealing with a larger force. Jeremiah chapter 51, and let's start at verse 19.
The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name.
So when we deal with this, the nations have placed another group of people in Israel, telling the world that they are the inheritance of Israel. Now, they haven't gone through anything that's written in the Torah. This is what they're supposed to deal with, the Torah. And it has all of these things about, what the children of Israel are going to go through. It has all of these things about, if you don't serve me in my land, then I'm going to make you serve your enemies in your enemy's land. These people haven't served anybody. They haven't been slaves. They haven't had any of those instances that are written in the Torah. So they have to come outside of that book and give you some other understanding of who they are. So what happens is we are constantly getting fed the sympathy card to feel sorry for a group of people who haven't been through anything and own half the world. It says that the true children of Israel are going to be underfoot. And this is why we're waiting for a Messiah. Why are you waiting for a Messiah if you own every network, every sports team, every this, every that? What do you need saving from? But when you look at who's starving, who's dying in the street, that's our people. So it's going to be a real eye-opening thing for the nations to understand who the true children of his inheritance really are, because it even confuses us. Because the question is, if we're so blessed, why are we going through this? And it is the very thing that he said, okay, you were created to be servants. This is your existence on the earth. I created you for me. And if you're not going to serve me, you're going to serve your purpose, because you were made to be a servant. So if you don't serve me, I'm going to make you serve all these other people on this earth. And we've gone from place to place. You got to wonder, why would somebody go halfway across the globe to go get some people? Why? Because them people were born servants. Them people that know how to serve. Let's go get them. Yahweh made sure that they wanted to look at us as servants. Why didn't they just enslave the Indians? So now we're going to go halfway across the globe and we're going to get some people who were born to be servants. And now that their God has turned their back on them because they turned their back on their God, they have no protection. So understanding that, they also know that for us to keep ruling over these people, we need to make sure that they never have a connection with their God. As long as we can keep interrupting the connection between them and their God, we are going to win. What did they say about Daniel? We shall not have a problem with Daniel unless we find it concerning the law of his Elohim. If we can find a problem with the law of his God, we're going to be able to always keep a problem going with Daniel. See, he's a good man. But when it comes down to the law of his God, he going to disregard all the Gentile rules. He going to follow his God's rule over anything else. So they knew, we know how we're going to cause a problem with him. Well, these nations have seen the same thing with us. They learn from our history. They look and say, we know how we're going to make sure that these people have a problem. We're going to disconnect them from the law of their God. We're going to disconnect them from all of those things. And then that will always create a problem between their God and them. Imagine if you have an inheritance coming to you, but you keep upsetting your father, and somebody knows that, so they're playing the game to make sure that you and your father are always at odds because they don't want you to get your inheritance. So they're going to put you in situations so that you and your father are against one another. And the nations have been doing this. Go ahead.
You're talking about, we're afraid to be servants, and we're always in training if we pay attention to ourselves, right? When we were kids, we were our parents' servants. Hey, give me some water. Go do this. Go do that. And we do the same thing with our kids. And when you get to the point of,
I give them instructions for no reason at all. You understand what I'm saying? See, go there and change that channel. Not on you to remote. Y'all don't get up enough. Go change the channel. Yeah, they like, so it will work without. That was a question. I know. So you can turn the TV on without the remote. Yes. You don't know the TV got buttons? Oh my God. When did the TV get buttons? They always have buttons. See? But see, if you don't make them do nothing, how long would I have produced grown kids that didn't know that there was buttons on the TV? See, so some people would be like, it's cruel. Sorry, you don't make them just walk up to the TV and find the buttons. Oh, I got them up there doing that. Oh, I feel something right here. What is that? It's buttons on there.
How many times have you seen a grown up spend all their time looking for the remote and the TV right there?
The TV right there. Yeah.
But at the same token, when they get to where they don't want to listen, do the same thing y'all did to us. Time to get out my house.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go.
But see, some people too weak to do that. Mm-hmm. See, and by doing that, they then create weak children. Them kids need to fit. We do all that we can to try and shield or give a better life for our kids than what we have. But then that thing is somehow taken out of context, that they don't feel the wind on their face, in certain situations, and then they don't believe that that there are real dangers. So it's a catch-22 on doing those things. So sometimes you have to try to make that understanding of work be there, because the way this society is, hey, you can work without leaving your house. That wasn't possible years past.
I mean, you gotta look at different societies and cultures. I always thought it was a disservice where kids over here don't work till 2021. Some will get out at 15, 16. But on average, you pushing a kid out 18, 19, they set no way. I know in the islands, you hear about these child labor laws. Man, in the islands, certain points when you can talk and you can express what you're doing, man, you could be in the grocery store, you're bagging groceries. I worked, 7 years old, worked for the grocery store, bagging groceries. Mm-hmm. I come here and it's like, what? You can't work till you're 16.
I had a job. I was 14. Now they just needed somebody real bad. I worked at Piccadilly Cafeteria, South DeKalb Mall. Eating the biscuits in the back. They knew I was lying when I got there. They tell me, boy, how old are you? I'm 16, sir. You know what I'm saying? I look at every bit of 12 and a half. Yeah, I got. He said, look here, don't you bring your ass out the back. He told me straight up, don't. We know you ain't no 16, but we need somebody today. Here, put this on. Done deal. I had to now understand that I'm working in the back. I'm working the dishwasher. Hey man, the steam that come off that dishwasher take the skin off your face. So I'm 14, but I wanted this leather bomber jacket. And my mom said, I'm not buying that jacket. That jacket is $200. I said, I'm getting that jacket. You understand? I said, that jacket, not a jacket like it, not a jacket that's on the rack near that jacket. I'm telling you, I'm getting that jacket. You understand what I'm saying to you? She said, well, I guess you're gonna get a job. Well, I guess I am. Because I'm getting that jacket. And I got that jacket. Now, it took me longer than I thought. Because, you know, first of all, I was trying to figure out who is the tax man. That threw me off. Then you keep spending pieces of the money, which kept making the thing longer, you know, of what, you know, I was trying to get. I didn't think that money changes your focus. Oh, yes, it does. It changes because so I kept seeing little things that I wanted that kept, you know, interrupting the big thing that I wanted. So I wasn't supposed to work that long, but it turned out to be quite you know, a little stint there. But we were definitely created to be his servants, even the little things. Yahweh has a law that says you shall not mar the corners of your beard. We cut our beard, you start getting bumps all over here, you start itching, you scratching like a dog, you know, your face turned red. They even had to tell certain military personnel they had to get medical waivers so that they don't have to shave every day like the Gentiles. This law don't make sense to Gentiles. They can shave every day, 30, 40 years, never get a hair bump. We the only ones get them. Africans can shave. Well, first of all, African ain't got no hair. Most of the Africans ain't got no hair anyway. We're talking about a grown man. He's 50 years old, and he got the same little peach fuzz as your little boy that's 14. No, that's real talk. This dude 50 years old, and he got that same little peach fuzz. You and your 14-year-old boy right beside him, like, damn, you a grown man? See, I encountered that one day. I'm in the store, and there's this African, huge African. This dude, like, he was, you know, he was a muscular dude. He about 7 feet, and he got there's a woman there, and she just keeps staring at me. I was like, well, the African gonna beat her to death. I said, he gonna beat her to death. But then I saw what she was staring at. She was staring at my beard. She just kept, and it was like it was drawing her in. She just kept getting closer. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Then I realized, oh, the 7-foot dude don't have no hair on his face nowhere. And it don't look like he cut it. It just never grew. So then I'm like, I'm staring at the big 7-foot dude with no hair. And I turn my head because he look at me. But then he starts staring at my beard. So all three of us keep looking at each other. The girl keep looking at me, and I keep looking at the African. So then and you don't even think like that. Yahweh has it so his law is in your body. Your body fights against you when you don't keep Yahweh's law. He said this is how a man is supposed to look. But then we got into all of these things, and that's one of the things being a servant to the Gentiles is, hey, you can cut that dirt off your lip, boy. That dirt on your lip, boy. Cut that off.
Could be a certain job.
Yeah. Certain jobs, you couldn't even walk in the door. Oh, I remember them saying something to me, man, how much bigger is that beard gonna get? Oh, I knew what that meant. I knew exactly what that meant, you know? So they having conversations in the back room that boy getting too hairy. Yeah. This the little baby beard. You know, I had to cut it off. They cut it in the hospital. So yeah, I remember my stuff was down here. You know, I got a little teenage beard now. This, you know, I ain't used to this little hair. You know, I ain't used to this. Go ahead, bro.
Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 20. You are my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you will I break in pieces the nations, and with you will I destroy kingdoms.
Check this out. You are my battle axe and weapons of war. That means I'm the fighter, you the stick. I'm gonna hit people with you. But see, this is not just a situation where you get to be used just because you're Israel. No. As David said, I cannot go to war with these, with Saul's things, because he said they have not been proved in battle. See, he has to go to war with people who have been proven in battle. That's why you see the people who talk that peace talk. It's because they ain't never in nothing. They can avoid everything that comes. Like Brother Absalom from Tifton over there was saying, hey, this stuff make me stronger. I go through it. There are people that don't understand that. Things that you go through make you stronger. So you see the people who avoid every bit of conflict. When it go down, you're going to see exactly how weak they are. Because all they do, this is how they have peace. And they talk that peace. They do them plant early for good coin messages. You know, oh, God is love. Oh, peace on the Sabbath. Peace and peace and peace. Right. How they have peace. Anytime there is any kind of fight for righteousness, they're gone. But eventually that's going to catch up with you. Because it comes to a point where Yahweh needs some people to execute righteousness, and they're not going to know how to do it. They're going to be too afraid to do it because they haven't had the same practice as everybody else, because all they did was run out of the room every time it got too difficult. And that ain't going to work. Go ahead.
And when you look at the situation, even now we're in training, we're constantly in training. The military don't just recruit people and then send them out to war. You go through boot camp. We actually in boot camp, and some of us have been in boot camp our whole lives. Because when you look back at your past, you're always not going to take somebody who has not been through anything and just put you in the front so you become shell shocked. Mm-hmm. Just like the military is not going to do it. When we sit down and look at it, all of us have got some past and trials and tribulations. And I think you said it before. Hey man, certain things Yahweh just want you to put on reserve. Mm-hmm. But you will get to use it later on. Mm-hmm. But every situation, every confrontation, every obstacle is training. Mm-hmm. We have to see it for what it is. We are in training. And if the first time, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get hit. Yeah. If you keep avoiding everything, in the heat of the battle, it's not the first time you want to be hit.
You got that right. And that's the first thing we ask for, to be removed. Yahweh, take this away from me. Yahweh, take this away. Please take this. And then we get confused when he don't take it. We get confused that he don't just take that situation and completely remove it from us, you know? But what's happening is he's like, what kind of servant are you going to be if I remove everything from you? If I let you, imagine if every test that you took, you get to a test, it got 20 questions. You get to question number 3, it's hard, so you just leave the room. You ain't passing that class. You are not passing that class. I got you coming. Go ahead, Michelle.
Just like what you said, you know, you ask Yahweh to help you with something, or remove something, or make you stronger in something. This last weekend, took my boys to Andretti. And with me, I struggle with, like, you know, whenever I buy food outside of my house, praying over the food before I eat it. Mm-hmm. Big weakness with it. So this last weekend, so we ended up eating, and I had to pray with food. So what I did, I told all my boys, hey, I need to pray with food. And it helped me, but also it helped my older son, because I could see he was kind of hesitant, he was kind of scared and a little ashamed of it. Mm-hmm. But I had to damn push myself too to be like, you know what, man, I need to get over this fear, man. I don't care what nobody say or how they look at me.
Right.
And he just put you in places to strengthen up the fear or whatever, the weakness or whatever.
You know what? The what's written in the book is that the Spirit helps your prayers with groanings and moanings that cannot be uttered, because it knows what you need. So it will help put you in situations that will help you grow. I remember having an issue with that. I don't care at all. I remove my head covering. I get right in there and pray in the restaurant, and I watch the whole restaurant stop and just look at me and my family. First of all, we already look like a Hebrew gang because we come in there like 8, 9 deep. You know what I'm saying? So folks already be like, "Are all these your kids? Wow, did you guys come in a bus? How did you get in there?" so people act like a family with more than 2 is huge.
Yeah.
Why? Because the American dream said you're supposed to have 2.5 kids and a dog. Now I don't know which one of y'all had a 0.5 kid, but 2.5 kids and a dog. Anything I can literally tell you, after my second child, my mom said, "All right, you got one of everything they make. You can stop now." You can stop now. That's your. But see, here's the thing. That was part of how she accepted that. But my mom was one of 5. You see, when I got 5, my grandmama said, "Now you just like me." I said, "Now look at that." But I was instructed to stop at 2. You know why? Because that was what they were comfortable with. Because my mama only had 2. Yeah, but that's not what I want. It's a harsh reality, that people don't want to deal with. But when you ain't got but 2, and if one of them ain't, one of them crazy, hey, you got look. Sometimes you look around the room to be like, which one of these will actually take care of me when I get old? You know what I'm saying? And you like, you know what? I need 5, so maybe I can get 1 unimpossible. Hey, because you look at a couple of them, you be like, oh, that one right there gonna leave me just floating down the street. You already know that one right there ain't taking care of nobody. All right, ain't taking care of nobody. So I can go ahead and X that one off the list. Now let me look around this room and see if I can get one of these to take care of me if something happened to me. Hey, man. So we have to consider that. Yahweh had to go through it. Hey, he created children. He know good and well. That one right there don't care nothing about me or no instructions that I've given. What did he say about Abraham? Abraham is my friend because I know that he will instruct his house in all that I tell him to do. He said, this is my friend. What about all them other people? Yahweh created everything. But he knew they weren't going to listen. He knew it didn't matter what kind of commandments he gave them, what kind of instructions he gave them, they wasn't going to listen. And sometimes, we don't want to see that in a child. We don't want to see that this one ain't going to listen to nobody. You're going to have some problem. Then what we do is start shielding the child and making the child worse. Making the child absolute terror. Because we won't even allow the kid to be disciplined. Go ahead, brother. Did you have something?
Yeah, like you said, being tried and proven. Being tried and proven in battle. A lot of times we'll run from the things because we got so much invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And because we have so much invested in it, we don't want to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and being men, we have responsibilities that overrides what you like.
Yep.
And a lot of times you don't deal with those things the way that it should be dealt with, then Yahweh gonna deal with it for you.
You know what? As a man and as a father, some of those things should change. I watch situations where you will look and the kids don't have certain things, but this man that's supposed to be a father got new shoes and a new video game. Why your folk coming in here looking to throw it away? But you got a brand new game, though. I know that game costs $400. There's certain situations where you're supposed to step down what your needs are. Hey, now that's one thing that my mama hit me off right off the rip. You got a kid, all your gifts go to the kids. Now, understand, you don't get no more gifts. You don't get no more nothing. Hey, my boy said, hey, I got a baby on the way. Congratulations. You're not getting another damn thing as long as you live. Everything is going to the child. You not a child no more. Congratulations. I'm gonna give you this so you can get to the baby. Here, now get it to the baby. All right. All right. Now that way you feel like something. Here you go. Here you go. Now get it to the baby. Here you go right now. Now get it to the baby. There you go. Hey.
You're wrong when you say that. You see one of mine sitting over there. Ask him what I told him. Hey, you got a baby now. You no longer have a room in my house.
Hey.
The grandbaby got a room.
There it is. There it is. What you can ask? Can I stay in the baby room? Hey, you ain't no room in there. Ain't no room in there. Ain't no room in. You can stay in the baby room. See if you can. Crouch up. Get in that crib. Get in that crib. Crouch up in it. Crouch up in it. Hey.
Hey, Priest.
You fit this 6-foot dude in the bassinet. You gotta. I gotta have a picture of that right there. How he fit him in there? That's pretty interesting. Now, it says, "You are my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you will I break in peace the nations, and with you will I destroy kingdoms." That means you have a job that you have to do. And if you're running from everything of responsibility, you're going to have some problems. So you got to be able to take a punch. Like he said, you don't want to be the first time you get hit is in the championship fight. And if you ain't never got hit and the dude across from you is Mike Tyson, I'm telling you, Mike Tyson, we had some of the worst fight parties ever during the time of Mike Tyson. There were people who went to the bathroom and missed the entire fight because it lasted 12 seconds. It was enough for Mike to go, done deal. Night. That fight is over. People done paid all this money. You done went and got chicken wings. And you done had your drink. You done decorated your house. And now the fight is over. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Hananiah.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to touch on you when you were talking about the, you had mentioned, first of all, shalom, brothers.
Shalom.
Just wanted to touch on when you mentioned the statistic that the Gentiles came out with the 2.5 kids, the half point or the 2.5 is them counting their pet. That is the 0.5.
Yeah.
They give that pet. So I can understand that.
They got a half.
Yeah, that's the half is their pet. But you're right. It seems that every generation it starts to reduce the head count because my dad came from 13, my mom 6. Us were 6, and now me and my brothers and sisters we have 2 each. So it seems like we're following their lead. And one of the reasons why they're allowing the Turks and some of these Gentile European-looking people to come into the country is because their head count is diminishing. They're not reproducing like they should. But if you're Haitian or you're dark complected or you're melanated, they don't want you to come in here. So you can see how they play games with that.
No doubt. For y'all, hopefully y'all were able to hear that. That was our brother Hananiah, who's out in California. From time to time, we're gonna have a few other of our extended members on the line with us. But you look at that whole thing of doing those numbers. My grandmother was one of 19, but that was a point where the kids were of value. They were working. So the more workers you had in your family, the more valuable your family was. So, and especially men children. Well, that also developed some problems in my family because, my mother told me openly, your grandmama like boy kids. And I was like, how you get at that? Well, my grandmother came up during the time of sharecropping. So coming up during the time of sharecropping, all of them were out in the field. Well, my grandmother cooked. And so when you got to cook for 21 people, she never knew how to cook small meals, and we found that out when my family was like, asking my grandmama, show me how you cook this? She said, well, all right, well, come on in here. All right. And then she come up with these measurements that ain't part of no measuring system ever in life. Put a do-dabble of this. Now get a sprinkle of that. And it's like, big mama, what the hell is a do-dabble? How do you measure a do-dabble? It's bigger than a dabble. It's a do and a dabble. What is your problem? What? Big mama, that don't make no sense. It makes perfect sense, baby. And once you figure out what she's doing, oh, it does work. Man, they ain't sitting up there. They wasn't cooking with no measuring cup and all that. They would do it by feel. And then when they tasted it, they said, all right, next time I'm gonna need to add a little more of this, and I'm gonna add a little less of that, and I'm gonna do this. And before you know it, boom, they got it down packed. They can do it with their eyes closed. So that's why people always ended up at our house, my grandmama's house, eating, because she didn't know how to make small meals. It's 5 of us. She done cook for 20 people. You know? But then, no, it ain't 3 days of eating no more, because all the miscellaneous people keep showing up. How you doing? Is your big mama Lucy in? Where's she gonna go? You know she in here.
Right.
What you trying to figure out is some chicken in here. You know she in here. Can I come in? Right. And she wouldn't turn down nobody.
That's how my mom was.
You show up at the door, you will eat. We'd be like, big mama, but we don't like him. We don't like him. Well, baby, people you don't like get hungry too. Come on in here, boy. God, mighty no. Go ahead, bro.
It's kind of like the same thing. The women nowadays, they not let you have a kid outside of such or a kid before you had.
Mm-hmm.
Man, back then, man, granddaddy had kids over here and over here.
Mm-hmm.
But grandmama, if that kid was coming to grandmama didn't do like these women do. Yeah. These kids nowadays.
Uh-huh.
They take care, they take care of them children.
Yep.
No matter where they came from.
Yep.
And they don't do that nowadays. Like grandma feed the whole neighborhood. What grandma doing this now?
Right.
Ain't no grandma doing this now.
That means our kids are missing out on a whole portion of things that we grew up with, you know, and me having, you know, basically I had 3 grandmas. I had my stepdad's mama, and then my mom's mom and my dad's mom. So, you know, I learned a lot from them old ladies, you know, it was when I ended up, you know, getting kicked out of school, had to go live in the country for 2 years. Hey man, that changed my life. I stayed with my dad's mom. I know my dad's mom better than I know my dad. I don't know that dude. I knew his mom. And once my grandmama from the country, his mama passed away, I ain't been down there since. I don't need to go down there. Actually, if I go down there, I'm going to see my stepdad. I'm going to see his family, not anybody from, you know, my biological. I don't know him. I knew her. And I learned a lot from her. Actually, I could see why my mom and my dad didn't work out once I met my grandma. That lady cooked 3 times a day. My mama cooked 3 times a month and a half. I said, oh, I see what's going on right here. I see what's going on. If this is what he expected, I'm surprised y'all lasted a week. Because I thought my grandma was just showing out. I get up in the morning, she gonna make breakfast. I said, oh man, so I mean, it's like a hot breakfast in the morning. I said, yeah, okay. So then I was like, okay, she doing this because I just got down here. All right. So then I come home from school, and then, you know, it's hot food waiting for me. I said, Grandma, it's too early for dinner. Yeah, boy, you so crazy. This just an after school snack. Snack? What the hell going on here? So then I eat, I do my homework, and she said, all right, baby, you go on and play, I'll make dinner. What? You gonna cook again? I said, man, she's showing out. I go play, I come back, full meal. No, man, this is, you know, and she playing around. She playing around. This is gonna stop here in another week. Every day for the 2 years. Dog, that was just her.
Yeah, I know.
By the time I got out of there, I said, I don't know what you call this, but I want me one of these. I don't know what this is, but my kids that I ain't had yet, they gonna get one of these. Whatever the hell you call this. What is this? And I had to find out later that no, this is called a housewife. Well, damn it, I want one of these. Because I need to figure out this 3 times, this cooking everything. I need to have this for my children right here. When I have children, I'm getting me one of these. See, that's what. Now, what happened had I not gotten kicked out of school and had to go down there and learn from them?
You've been looking for buttons on TV like
See, not only would I have been looking for buttons on the TV, would I have been, looking for an Instagram model
right.
to marry.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what? You know what? You're a nice girl, but you know what? You do not look like Instagram number 14, 17.
Right. Right.
See how that stuff programmed your mind? I said, no. I saw in the country what I want. I'm getting me one of these. See, now I still had to get my mind right because my mama raised me not to have people in the house while while she wasn't there. So I didn't like people around the house. So when I first got a housewife, I had a problem because my wife was in my house. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why are you here? Like, well, I'm a housewife. Oh, damn. I guess that do make sense. I guess you do have to stay in the house to be that. So it first bothered me, So I had to get past that, but it lets you know that even how some things that you want will still bother you. But see, that's that old programming. No matter what we think, feel, and believe, you have been programmed somehow in your upbringing. Some thoughts have gotten in. At some point, we have to get in this book and let those things override that programming that we received along the way. And sometimes that's difficult, because you've been doing this stuff 25 years. And then the book say, hey, you can't do this no more. Hey, you got to stop. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 21. And with you will I break in pieces the horse and his rider. And with you will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. And with you also will I break in pieces man and woman. And with you will I break in pieces old and young. And with you will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with you the shepherd and his flock. And with you will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with you will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight.
Right.
Says Yahweh.
And as we deal with those things, we have to understand it was Europe, Great Britain that put these people in the land of Israel, calling them the Jews. And then America took over that fight and became Israel's protector. Whatever weapon America got, Israel automatically got that weapon as well. So you have that all the while they're mistreating true Israel. Consider that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 1, and we're going to start with verses 1 through 4.
Verse 1. Numbers chapter 1.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take you the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their posts.
Now, see, what ends up happening as you deal with all of these other countries, they send their women to war. They'll send anybody. Yahweh has a directive that we are supposed to follow. Go ahead.
From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, you and Aaron shall number them by their armies. And with you there shall be a man of every tribe, every one head of the house of his fathers.
Right. So then from the warring age is from 20 years old and upward. If you get right down to that cutoff point that Yahweh ended up doing, it was those from 20 and up. They were held responsible for their actions. Okay, so that was that responsible point in their lives. Let's jump to verse 16. You know, we had a lot of things on the tribes and the names. We're not going to read all of that.
These were the renown of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their fathers, heads of thousands in Israel. And Moshe and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. And as Yahweh commanded Moshe, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Reuben, were 46,500.
All right, so we're going to jump down to verse 47.
But the Levites, after their tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among them.
Right. So then when you get right down to it, you see where there's certain things that Yahweh does. So you'll have the house of yourself, but then what he did was had a half tribe of Ephraim, half tribe of Manasseh. Why? When you get down to this breakdown, you still then have 12 fronts, right? But the Levites are exempted from war. You know, so you have these people, especially, you know, these other Hebrew Israelite groups that swear they know what tribe they're in. If, you know, they're Levites, they're set to be priests. Priests don't go to war. We don't know exactly what tribes we are in, so we have to operate, you know, because even the kings had to read out of the law of Yahweh. The king was supposed to have his own copy and read out of it all of the days of his life. So here's the thing. You may be trained to be a priest, or you may be trained to be in one of the kings. Same training. Up to a certain point. Go ahead.
For Yahweh had spoken unto Moshe, saying, only you shall number the tribe of Levi.
You shall not.
Only you shall not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel. But you shall appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of testimony.
Remember, they are my servants. All right. So you all are my servants collectively, but they have to tend to the tabernacle things, you know, and that's things that people don't really think about. We think about the one dude at the front that he's a priest. The dude at the door is a priest. The dude that light the incense is a priest. It ain't just one priest. Go ahead.
And over all the vessels thereof, and over all things that belong to it, they shall bear the tabernacle and all the vessels thereof.
And only the priest can move it. Nobody else touching it. Go ahead.
And they shall minister unto it, and shall encamp round about the tabernacle.
So where the priest supposed to live? Around the tabernacle. So then you wonder why people would turn around and say, you know, I'm gonna buy me a house and go as far as they can away from the tabernacle. They don't understand the law of their Elohim. Where you supposed to be? Right. When I need you, you are available. What you gonna do when you 2 hours out? Yahweh, like, I need you. You know what? Let me pack some. I need to pack some jerky, and then I need to get my bags, and then I got to put gas in the car, and then I got to make sure my family okay, and then I tell you what, I'll be there tomorrow. You know what? Never mind. I'll find me another servant. Go ahead.
And when the tabernacle is set forward, the Levites shall take it down. And when the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up. And the stranger that comes near shall be put to death.
Right.
And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard throughout their hosts. The Levites shall pitch round about the tabernacle of testimony, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel. The Levites shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of the testimony. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Moshe, so he did that.
Now, you know, if you don't have understanding of this law, and then self-will kick in, and then you go and buy you a place 2 hours away, you don't even know that you have now angered your Elohim. I thought I was gonna be able to count on you. How I'm gonna count on you? And you see, it's one thing if you already live 2 hours away. It's one thing you already live 4 hours away. It's something altogether different when you made the decision afterward and moved way out to where now you have an automatic excuse every time it's time to do some work. Right. Let's go to our Exodus chapter 32. See, back in the days, you used to look at the churches, and they used to have this little bit of house on the property. That little house was for the pastor. So he was always available to help the people that were in need. Now they don't want to stay in them little houses. They got a house bigger than the church. They don't want to stay in that house. So that concept was still there in the early days of Christianity. It ain't even there no more. So that's why we think it's okay. Don't even know that we've done something evil. No, they don't stay in the same county. They purposely, see, that's where you see the arrogance of us. We don't want to be around us. We purposely want to move out, away from where we are. But then when all hell breaks loose, then we're gonna find out. Now you're trying to hurry up and get to where we at. Because now you done put yourself in a situation where, hey, it's too easy for somebody to get to you. Go ahead. Exodus 32, and let's start at verse 22.
Aaron said, let not the anger of my master wax hot. You know the people, that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, make us gods, which shall go before us. As for this Moshe, the man that brought us out of the land of Egypt, we know not what has become of him.
Right. Soon as they didn't see him, they was ready to revert back to the Egyptian way. And you when you look at this, you have to see how the Levites really earned their exemption. Go ahead.
I said unto them, whosoever has any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me, and I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf.
Yeah, you just throw gold in the fire, and a cow came out. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Go ahead. Right. It just came out. Cow came out. We put the gold in there. Right.
And when Moshe saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moshe stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on Yahweh's side?
This is where it gets, this is where those lukewarm people are going to have a problem. Every time in Yahweh's army, in Yahweh's word, they're going to have a problem. Because what they do is run off to go and seek peace. That's why they can talk peace, because they don't do nothing. If you don't work, that's complete peace. You go sit in the back of the room and do nothing and watch everybody else. Watch this brother back in the flow. Watch this brother watch the wall. Watch this brother over here do something. And you say, what you doing? I am having peace. Yeah. You ain't doing nothing. Go ahead.
Let him come unto me. All the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, thus says Yahweh El of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. So now you're talking about some blood that's got to be shed from Israel to Israel. So this is something that we're not ready to deal with. We are so ready to deal with going to war against somebody else. Our first war is going to be amongst us. That's why our first war is going to be.
Because see, Yahweh he can't use everybody. All them people that said, as it is written, what it say? They gonna say, Lord, Lord, didn't we do all these great works in your name? And he said, get away from me, you work of lawlessness. I never knew you. And you find out that some of those who have the nicest and sweetest things to say, they hate his law. And in turn, they really hate him. Go ahead, bro.
You know, when we just read about Levi wasn't counted in the number of those that go to war, right? Don't take Levi's off and mean they can't fight.
Hey, first one to swing. He said, who on Yahweh's side? Here come the Levites. What, you want me to chop up money?
And his family.
Right.
Family.
Right.
First.
They got to kill their own brethren.
Right.
Go ahead, brother. You have something?
Nah, that's exactly what I was gonna touch on. Because y'all be having these brothers and stuff be talking, yeah, they ready, to go and do this for y'all one day. But I'm like, yo, just like you said, it starts first with Israel. I'm like, man, you're gonna have to like slaughter kids too, man. They ain't just adults and stuff, man. Are you truly ready?
What happened if you got to slaughter one of your kids? We already know. We already know it's gonna be a division right down the middle of that. Because there's some people that can't see no wrong that they kid do. They can't see no wrong that they kid do. Okay? They kid done chopped up 4 people and ate their kidneys. He's still a sweet boy. He just misguided. That's why he ate those kidneys.
You got it going.
Now we gonna kill your boy. That boy is sadistic. He got to go away from him. Ain't no kidney eating here. Go ahead, bro.
And it's two battles. It's a physical and it's a spiritual. And some things require you to say something, and some of us don't even have the strength to say something. All you gotta do is say something at this point. This point, they right here is they actually killing. He said, "No, bird, get your sword. Don't stand. Now kill them. Everything. Now, okay." Some of us we don't have to do that right now. We ain't killing each other right now. Right. But brothers, please don't let me die here doing something wrong and y'all ain't.
You ain't gonna even say that.
Y'all ain't gonna say nothing.
You ain't gonna say nothing.
Forget about my feelings. Please say something to me. Tell me I'm wrong. Disregard the feelings. Disregard the man that probably gonna jump at you or whatever. Disregard him. Please don't let me die here like this. Because all it is saying something now. And if I can't deal with it, then there's something wrong with me. But we are watching. We have a responsibility. The Levites, they're priests right here. And they actually got to kill their family members. Okay, y'all did this. You did it.
That's the whole thing. The responsibility that's there. And it's like, if you can't do this, what good are you as a servant? If you can't even say nothing to your brother, that means you don't love him. That's what I was, trying to warn people about. Let me tell you something. When you love somebody, you learn how to keep them out of situations that they're going to fall in. I know my brother alcoholic. I'm not going to take him to a bar. Why would you take them to the place where they're going to fall? You have to love them better than that. Exactly. And you got to fight against that because now they trying to activate your feet. If you love me, you'll take me to this bar. Now, because I love you, I'm not taking you to that bar. Because I know you got a drinking problem.
I got a brother like that.
See? It's because I love you that I'm not taking you there. See? That's why it says, rebuke your brother and don't suffer sin to be laid upon him. When you didn't rebuke him, now you cause him to walk around feeling like that's okay. That's why people don't understand the depth of the wrong that they do when they justify one individual. And we know that individual done stole, lied, deceived 4-5 different people in this room. But then you gonna justify them and say, they okay, they cool, they this. Do you understand what you just did? We don't get that. Do you not understand what you just did? Now, how many more people gonna end up getting hurt because you said those people were okay? Go ahead.
Also in that situation, if you saying they good and they okay, does this mean you've been chastising them? Does this mean you've been talking to them? Does this mean you've been correcting them?
That's a very good
You
point.
can now say that I've had conversations with them and they see the error of their ways. If you haven't been doing that, shut the hell up.
Yeah. Oh man, that's golden, bro. That is an absolute amazing point there.
Yeah, because you're going off the feeling that
Right.
it didn't involve me.
Exactly. You going
It didn't
off.
involve me.
They didn't steal my cow.
It didn't do that to me.
You know. So then, you know, if they stole your cow, then that's just a personal situation between you and them.
I mean, in a situation like that, you got to look at it and understand that if they didn't do it to you, but they was willing to do it to somebody that's probably higher than you.
Right. What makes you think that
You-
eventually it ain't coming to you? That's how all epidemics start. When they first put the drugs in our community, they say, you know, them drugs, that's a black problem. They need to get their life together. Then drugs left the hood and went to the suburbs. They said, oh my God, it's an epidemic. Little Timmy is now smoking crack. Wait a minute. But it was just a black problem when you dumped that crack over here in the projects, you know? But then when they start getting high on the other side of town, now it's an epidemic. Now we got to do something about it. Do you see how fast when they start making them methamphetamines and they going to you know, getting cold medicine and they making them and it's, boy, that meth, let's be honest. We know people that have been on crack for 20 years. 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. And they still behind the car wash, dancing, you know what I'm saying? Doing all kind of stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? They still around, right? Hey, bro, you get on them methamphetamine, they be out of here in a year. Cradles in their face. You be like, you just been smoking meth for a year. But that meth stuff not on our side of town. Okay, look at what happened. I can't even get a box of cold medicine without having to give them people my license. Why? Because they want to protect what's happening on the other side of town. See, but you see how the scales get even when we ain't doing it. You put all the crack in our neighborhood to kill us all, and look, something else done hit the other thing, you know, and truly, crack is killing us. But boy, it take a long time. It take a long time, boy. The cat's still behind the car wash. He's still dancing. You know?
The black crackhead will tell you.
Exactly. And that should tell you something. When a crackhead won't do meth, that's a statement for you. Oh, no. Now, I can smoke crack, but I will not smoke meth. Absolutely, I won't deal with meth at all. So you mean to tell me there's crack morals? You know?
You don't lose, but I like to get high.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to get messed up.
You know, yeah, right. Now that's some deep stuff right there. That is extremely deep right there, bro. Go ahead, brother Kid.
Verse 28.
Hey, priest.
Oh, you got something there, bro?
Yeah, I just wanted to add real quick. You know, now the administration has passed or given funds for that epidemic that you were speaking on for the opiate epidemic, because they're taking that fentanyl and the Adderall and all that stuff that they take in the upper scale neighborhoods. Now they've given them an avenue to where they can go and get help. They have clinics available for them. They have detox centers available for them. They have, where they can go and talk to psychiatrists to help them get off those drugs. But when the crack epidemic was happening in the 80s and 90s, there was nothing for the black community. But all of a sudden, it went to their neighborhood, like you interjected. Now, let's get all the funding that we possibly can to help these people get off and kick these habits. So it's funny to see that.
Yeah, it shows you, the disparity in those things and how they come about. That's why anybody should be automatically suspicious when they come out with some kind of jab and say that they want to give it to you first. You ain't never wanted to give me help first. You ain't never wanted to give it. I call 911, they stop me and get donuts before they come to get me. But now all of a sudden, you know they done stop because they still eating when they get there. Hey, somebody call 911. Did you stop at Dunkin' Donuts before you came in? But now I'm supposed to believe that you have my best interest at heart, that you want to give me something that y'all just created, don't even know what it really is going to do to the body. Go ahead, bro.
It's a TV show coming out about that.
how the opioids took over and started killing a lot of people. How they went in and said, "Oh no, nah, it ain't our stuff," but it was actually their stuff because when they oxycodone or something like that. When it was like showing people like breaking into pharmacies and everything, trying to get this stuff, like it made people go crazy and stuff. It's a TV show that's coming out about that.
Amen. You know, it's interesting how, you know, the funding show up for things that happen on the other side of town. But what we don't see, this is also part of the base of what we were talking about before. When you can say, as long as it's not my family, then that is what allows it to grow on one side. But then it gets so far out of hand that it makes it to your house. See, if you are supposed to love your neighbor as yourself, when your neighbor goes through something, you go through something. See, that's why, you know, even in this word, you got brothers and sisters, and then you got cousins. See, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. Kish's daughter down in school, Kish said, man, I'm working such and such, man, something done happened with my daughter. All right, well, I done put the AR in the car and I'm on my way down there. I'll be there when you get there. That's what family do. Call one of them cousins and tell them that, you know what?
What she was doing?
You know what? Right. You find out the difference between cousin. A cousin gonna stick with you as long as it benefits the cousin.
Mm-hmm.
But brother and sister, that's family. They try and take care of one another. And if they wrong, they tell them, you wrong. But cousin, they don't take care of you like that. So you got to be able to recognize, even when you come and keep holy convocation, take notice of the brothers and the sisters, and also know them damn cousins that come up in here. They're cousins. I watched somebody get baptized one day, and my elder said, congratulations, now you're a cousin. I said, Elder, why would you say that? Take a little time, and we found out he was a cousin. Once something bothered him, he was out the door. Family don't work. Family will sit there and fight with each other for 20 years and then still be like, all right, I'll see you next Sunday.
At the next barbecue.
You know? So you bringing the chicken, right? Yeah. Didn't y'all take it to August? Yeah, but right now we need to take care of this business. Now who's gonna bring the chicken now? You know?
Hey, all that argument got me hungry.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moshe. And there fell of the people that day about 3,000.
There fell about 3,000. We would have problems taking 3 of somebody we care about. But they have transgressed Yahweh, and a great sacrifice needs to be made here. Do you understand what the war of Armageddon is? He said it's going to be blood up to the horse's bridle. What happened? Blood must be shed to make an atonement for sin. So when you talk about the apocalypse, when you talk about this great war that has to happen, the entire earth has to be cleansed. The only way you can cleanse the earth is by shedding the blood of them who defiled it. So either you're going to learn to be one of those that execute righteous judgment, or you're going to be one of those who have to shed their blood for everybody else to live on a cleansed earth. Make your decision. Go ahead.
For Moshe had said, consecrate yourselves today to Yahweh, even every man upon his son.
Oh, we already know that ain't going to happen right there. You know, we ain't going to say nothing about our son. See, now we can talk about your son. We talk about your son. We can say what you need to do with your son. But you know, you can't tell me what I'm going to do in my house with my son. Oh, yes, we can. As Kish said, it takes a village, right? That means the whole village was a part of it. See? But we so arrogant. That's why a lot of times we move out, way out, because we don't want to be around us. When we grew up, let me tell you something. I could be doing something down the street. If they found out, I got a whooping down the street. And by the time I got back up to the hill, my mama already know. Come on in here. Come on in here. But I just got a whooping. That was a free whooping. What? What they make free whoopings at? No. Come on in here. Because you out here ruining the family name. So you ain't got to worry about that when you go move among strangers, because they're not going to discipline your kid at all. They might kill your kid, but they're not going to discipline your kid. They don't want your kid to be better. See, in the neighborhood, they took responsibility for that. So you looked around, you couldn't just go 2 houses down and do no foolishness, because them folk know your folk. Boy, do your mama know you out here acting stupid? I just heard your mouth and it sounded like a trash can, all them nasty words coming out of your mouth. It made me come outside because I heard your little nasty mouth. Now, do your mama know you talk like that when you ain't at home? You already know what's in here. My mama gonna beat me, right?
You get home and nobody knows. You think it ain't gonna happen. You get out that shower.
And she was waiting on it. She was waiting on it. Yeah, I got a call. I got a call what you've been doing around the neighborhood here. Hey, no, but see, we it takes a village sounds good as long as the village don't affect me and how I want to raise my child. See, but the problem is your child is in this same village. If your child got a problem, that's going to spread to the rest of our children. So you either take care of that or we going to take care of it and you too. Go ahead.
And upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe said unto the people, you have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahweh, peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin.
But that's after he done had to take care of that business. See?
Yes.
See, the blood done already been shed. Now I can go to Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
See, going to Yahweh before we have already made an atonement for some of this things that y'all have done. Now I can go to him. So you go up to the altar with the blood of a beast to make an atonement for sin. It's all right. The blood has been shed. Now I can go and talk to Yahweh. And that's some things that we're going to have to deal with. So the Levites are separated from this war because they have to take care of the things of Yahweh. And the blood of war can't be on their hands. What's interesting is the Levites constantly have to deal in blood. And constant sacrifice of animals is blood everywhere. But it's a difference in animal blood and the blood of war. All right, let's go to our First Chronicles chapter 22. First Chronicles chapter 22. And let's read verses 6 through 10.
Then he called for Shlomo his son, and charged him to build an house for Yahweh Elohim of Israel. And David said to Shlomo, my son, as for me, it was in my mind to build an house unto the name of Yahweh my El. But the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, you have shed blood abundantly. And have made great war.
That's what he needed David for. See, the king's job is to go to war. The king's job is to handle Yahweh's business. The priest's job is to make sure that sin does not lay upon the children of Israel, to make sure that that relationship between the children of Israel and Yahweh is kept pure. So because he was a king and he had shed man's blood, he can't build a house of Yahweh. See, then you go back in your life, right? Understanding that there were certain things when I first was looking for a house. I used to get fussed at so much for going in that room that don't nobody go in. I call it the Miss Ann room. What it was in black houses, they had the house that Miss Ann had in the slave days. You had that house, that living room that had the white furniture with the plastic on it. It was a sitting room. There's never a TV in this room because this is the room where your grandmama had special company and they drunk tea and went over contracts in this room. This is Miss Ann's room. This was the slave room that slaves couldn't go in. It was in master's house. You know, the slave could go and serve tea in that room, but nobody could go in that room. So then when we got houses, we wanted to have us a house, have us a room like Miss Ann. If you think about it, all the furniture looked the same. It was all old English furniture, all old antique stuff in this one room. No other furniture in the house looked like the furniture in this room. I got a whip of being in that room so much, I had automatically said, I don't want no house that got that damn room in it. I don't want no house. That room, man, I can still feel the whoopings now. The house that I bought, they either had already knocked down the wall or was one big open area. Show you how Yahweh deal with you. My elder died. I end up saying, all right, you know, it is obvious chaos in here. You know, I'm going to go home and teach my family, and anybody want to come up and come. That's how the congregation got started. And it was the fact that I didn't have that room that made space for everybody to do that. So that's one level of how Yahweh prepare for you. You think you picking something for your doing, and really, he already has some other plans that he just ain't shared with you yet. So then you go back. The king, their job is to fight. Okay? Because David had, and Yahweh loved David, but because he had shed so much blood, he couldn't build a house. Now go back to some of the situations that you had in your life. I now know there was 2 times that I tried to do some things. And each time the gun jammed after 3 shots, there's certain times that I'm like, nobody should be living in this house after what I just did in it. Yahweh protected both times. What would that have affected? Hey, you can't build a house. You done shed man's blood. So there's certain times that Yahweh protect you, and it ain't even about you. You know, boy, if I didn't have a job for you, I'd kill you. Because there's certain things that didn't even make sense. Like, how ain't nobody dead right there? See? Yahweh protect you because you got a job, and that's definitely one. Because Aaron should have been taken care of because he did some stuff. But you know what? You got a job. This is the one thing I tell people about the importance of having a job. If you just one of them seat dwellers and you do something stupid, what's the reason keeping you around? Because we all at any time may do something stupid. But you do something stupid and you got a job, and you say, you know what? Boy, you know, I would kill you. But you know what? I need these graphics tomorrow. I tell you what. I tell you what, I'm still gonna punish you, but I'm gonna let you live, you know. But if you ain't got no purpose whatsoever, and then you do something stupid, you just made it real easy for you to get off. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the problem, like you say, reflect on your life, you know, because I know where you were when you said that. If you didn't go there, I was gonna go there for you. You know, and I look, but during the time you pissed off.
Yep.
Because I look at, man, I tried several times to do the Marine Corps. Got the blessing of the last person. Hey man, enjoy your career. This is the next doctor. I'm in. I go to do disqualified. You said if he gave the okay, I'd be okay. This man gave the okay. You later on in life, I realized that's not what Yahweh wanted, because I wouldn't have shed blood.
Yep.
I wasn't in.
Yep.
To the maps and had everything straight. The doctor said, what are we doing? So
But you mad because
Right, because that's what you want at that time.
Yeah.
Not understanding that, hey, if you're going to be a priest of Yahweh, the blood that you shed got to be different from the blood that the king shed. See, that's different kind of blood. But see, you don't know that. And what the adversary wants to do is he wants to get to you to influence your decisions before you understand Yahweh's word. So that by that time, you have already grabbed a hold of something that is not in your best interest. And once we grab a hold of something, man, it's hard for us to let it go. It's very difficult for us to let it go. See, because we are creatures of habit. Go ahead, brother.
Is it possible, because now I'm stuck at the part where the Levites came out. Levites slew all 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because they were meant for that job? They were put there for that situation that is looked at different. They slew men,
Mhm.
but they are put there for purposes.
Well, understand
such as-
something. Moshe was as a god unto them. Aaron was the as a high priest. Moshe gave an instruction. Who is on Yahweh's side? They moved. Who is on Yahweh? Everybody else had the opportunity to move. They had the opportunity to move. But see, you got them people that they don't show up unless it has something specifically to do with them. That's why you count them as self-checks. You don't even worry about self-check. They ain't gonna cause no harm. They ain't gonna do no good. They ain't gonna do no bad.
Like, okay, David was a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
David slew many,
Many,
10,000.
right?
Moshe also slew.
Yep.
What makes it different from this is what I'm getting to. There's a difference between this
Mm-hmm.
and this.
Okay. Kids,
What
you
is the
kids look like he itching.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't matter who it comes from. I just wanted to come.
He
already in his head.
I mean, he itching. That brother over there jumping up.
The problem is
I
this.
wanted to come. That's what I'm
The
saying.
problem was this. The transgression was against Yahweh.
Yeah.
Who's on Yahweh's side?
That was the
You
question.
transgressed against Yahweh. Them other things was fighting for land.
Now-
Those other things was fighting against people who was no. This is a direct violation
Ooh.
against our Elohim.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. And this is where you wonder why there's some kind of confusion when it comes down to priests. People don't know what belongs to Yahweh. So when you talk about Achan stole of the cursed thing, that thing was supposed to be consecrated. That was Judges 7, I want to say. It's in the book of Judges. All of those things were supposed to be consecrated unto Yahweh. So when he stole something, he stole Yahweh stuff. See, people don't understand the difference between sinning against Yahweh and sinning against man. There are people that have taken things out of here that we use for shows, that we use for things, and then you got people say, oh, they stole from you. No, they didn't. They stole from my Elohim. And then you go around justifying the person. Do you not understand what you just did? So that was $1 million question right there, brother. People don't know the difference between when they've done something against Yahweh and when they've done something against the man. When Ananias and Sapphira sold the land, and then they lied about how much they sold the land for. They thought they was lying to a man, but that man was standing in Yahweh's stead to do a job. They lied to Yahweh. See?
What they had vowed was to dedicate this to Yahweh's house.
Exactly. And once they did that, it was Yahweh's. Then they stole from Yahweh. People don't get that. So not only as it is written, not only do we do such things, but we have pleasure in them that do them. That's why we say, oh, no, they friends. They good. They this. Right. You might as well have stolen with them. You might as well have a kill with them. See, we don't get that. So now we done transgressed against Yahweh, but we got it in our head that it was only done against a man. Because it's only a man that we see. But that's all we ever gonna see. Go ahead.
I had to put that question out there.
Hey, bro, that was a good question.
Because a lot of times we look at these things and we don't look at it as holy.
Oh, now, on the other side of that too, you know, because you mentioned Moshe. Understand, Moshe killed an Egyptian who was harming a Hebrew. 40 years later, Yahweh sent Moshe back in there. What does he do? Kill them Egyptians. Yahweh was gonna kill all of them anyway. He was going to kill them anyway. And what was he going to kill them for? Mistreating the Hebrews. So what did Moshe do? Kill an Egyptian for mistreating a Hebrew. That was prophecy. That was prophecy. See, we in our heads, we only think we can get prophecy when we get into Jeremiah and all these other books and things like that. That's when we're reading prophecy. We don't understand. It's prophecy in Genesis. and they had to live through it. Did you have something else, bro? Did you have something? Okay. Okay.
I see it as that like when you look at this, you know, David and Moshe helped build a spiritual house.
No doubt.
Build the physical.
No doubt. No doubt.
They definitely helped build a spiritual house. This is the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
This is a buildup of what was set there before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can see the prophets and you can see the fold in the,
Right,
with
right.
Moses and David and all and most of these prophets that did those works.
Okay. Let's here we go. Keep reading it.
End of verse 8. You shall not build an house unto my name, because you have shed much blood upon the earth in my sight. Behold, a son shall be born to you, who shall be a man of rest, and I'll give him rest from all his enemies round about. For his name shall be Solomon, and I'll give peace and quietness unto Israel in his days. He shall build an house for my name, and he shall be my son, and I'll be his father, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever.
All right. Let's go to Numbers chapter 10. Numbers chapter 10. We're going to read verses 1 through 10. Brother Absalom, won't you read that from 50? Yep.
Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, make me 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, for the journeying of the camp.
All right. So then when these trumpets blow, it's the calling of the children of Israel. We're supposed to know when you hear these trumpets go that Yahweh is calling his people. Now go back and as we reflect upon like Exodus 19, you know, where they're coming up to the mount and Yahweh begins to speak. What is in that? Lightning, thunderings, and the sound of a trumpet sounding louder and louder and louder. That's a part of his voice. So he made it. So when you hear this trumpet, move. When I talk, move. When you got some kids and you tell them kids, look here, I need y'all to take out the trash, and they just look at you for another 10 seconds. I swear for everything on boy, if you don't get out in front of my face right now, you're gonna fly out in front of my face. I need you to move when I tell you to move. Yahweh, when you hear his voice, you move. So we have to understand the significance of this trumpet. See? So it ain't just about this trumpet. This is what was heard when he started talking. Go ahead.
And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to be at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And if they blow but with 1 trumpet, then the princes which are heads of the thousands of Israel shall gather themselves unto thee. When he blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forth. When he blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys.
Mm-hmm.
But when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm.
Right. So then it depends on how the trumpet is blown, what they must do. So if it's just blown, everybody gather. So, you know, consider what that does. Instead of one person yelling at a whole bunch of people, they can blow this trumpet a certain way. And each tribe know, all right, we encamp on this side. That's for us. They hear the trumpet go another way. Oh, that is for the people on that side. Now they move. That way everybody ain't moving at the same time. He decides, all right, you move in order, but I ain't got to talk to you for you to move in order. You just need to listen to the trumpet. And then what does it say? When we talk about, Yahshua rising, allowing the dead to rise, what it says? At the last trump. Even the dead follow the sound of the trumpet. Go ahead, Brother Kish.
When you look at some of them older movies where you like these tribes or these native tribes are being invaded, you hear a womp, a womp, a womp, and
right. Right.
You see people start scattering, moving. They got them trumpets.
Right. They receiving orders.
Yep.
They receiving orders. I used to look at those old movies and see those people blowing the trumpets. I said that the bugle boy got to be the dumbest dude in this army. They all got weapons and you have a trumpet. I'm not feeling that. Give me a spear or something. I don't want to be in here and all I'm doing, bah, 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 and they throwing weapons. You give me a horn, but you don't understand the purpose of that horn. He is giving orders that a regular voice is not going to be able to reach all the way across that field. But the sound of that trumpet will. Go ahead.
And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout the generations. And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you.
Stop. This is one of the most important parts that we have to understand about going to war in Israel. If you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you, all of these wars that they've had, this ain't our land. Yeah, we getting oppressed by the people who sending us to war, not the people who we supposed to be going to war against. That's why the Viet Cong said, black man, go home. Black man, go home. Why you here, black man? You getting oppressed where you at? If you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you, this ain't our land. And we quick to say, we got a house, get off my land. Man, that land was stolen from somebody before they sold it to you. It was stolen, sold. You know what I'm saying? It was stolen, sold.
Yep.
Bottom line. Go ahead, brother. You got something?
Yeah, if you guys remember in Black Panther, when they were going to war, the one brother jumped up on a big rock and he pulled out a shofar and started blowing that horn for the charge, for the initiating the war. If you guys recall that movie.
I do recall it, and my kids are absolutely horrified by my response at when they blew the shofar, because I stopped the entire theater when the shofar was blown in Black Panther. They was like, "Oh my God, our daddy, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, sit down." I'm like, "They blow that shofar, man." They're like, "Oh my God, that's what daddy. Oh my God." If you don't embarrass your kids, then you are not a good daddy. You need to embarrass these kids. I told that old man, I said, let me tell you something. You keep acting up in school, I'm showing up in some booty shorts, socks, and sandals, and I'm gonna be yelling your name down the damn hall. He like, okay, Dad, I'm gonna get it together. You gonna get it together. You are hella embarrassed by the time I get there. Go ahead, brother. You got something? Brother Benaya, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, I mean, in boxcar off what was talked about in Daniel about the saints will take the kingdom, I was actually dealing with some brothers that was actually on that tip. Mm-hmm. But I remember a discussion that you had one time about how to approach unto your Elohim and the rules of biblical engagement for war. And I was thinking, I know Deuteronomy 28 is in the law. They ain't trying to hear that. So I'm thinking, like, how are you going to ask him to do something for you, but you ain't trying to do what he said? So it's mad important, those spiritual rules of engagement. You just can't get mad and fly off and think, okay, he said we're going to take the kingdoms. But we know our people went up to try to take a war one time. They should have won, and they won, right? And
Right. And went up against a small nation and got beat up. Right. because the angel of Yahweh was not with them because they didn't follow the rules of engagement. All those things was to be consecrated unto Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if Joshua trying to find out who took of the accursed thing, the thing was accursed because it belonged to Yahweh. But then you say, oh no, they fine. They good, they really good people.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what Joshua gonna do? He gonna kill you too. Because what was said, until you remove this, I will no longer be with you. So go take care of this business.
Mm-hmm. And then brothers they don't want to deal with that. They said we're supposed to take the kingdom, and of course they get into that Esau conversation. He's just a white man. Yeah, he's that and Arab and this, that, and the third too. He's integrated.
Mm-hmm.
But when people are trying to use hooks to pull people in, be it that I like, you got a hook in your heart, you have hatred for the white man, leave that hard heart and come on, I got you. You like
and they use that, but see, you know that's an interesting thing, because most of the people that's talking about this war, they talking about this war against the white man because they're upset about slavery, not understanding, you know, our people were slaves to the Muslims before that. You know, so what kind of indignation do we even understand to even have about that? But just as we read earlier, the first war is going to be with Israel. As it is written, 2/3 of Israel will get cut off and die.
Yeah, and they won't deal with that Deuteronomy 23. And if you break one, you're guilty on more. So you coming up with no spiritual fortitude, but you think you got the right to go ahead and kill the white man. It's gonna
they just want to fight. We all went to school with them people just want to fight. It don't matter what the cause is. They just, you know, they just looking for a fight. They get up early in the morning. I wonder who I'm gonna get to fight today. They just want to fight. They don't have a cause. They don't have rules of engagement. They don't have any of that. They just want to fight. Mm-hmm. That's all they want to do. And you got to separate yourself from those individuals. What Moshe told them, who is on Yahweh's side? Come take care of this business. Those were our own people. So you have these people that want to have Israelite pep rallies and not understand some of these Israelites ain't right. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna have to get dealt with. Mm-hmm. And if we don't help them to change their ways, then they're gonna get dealt with in a much more harsh fashion. Mm-hmm. Because you won't be representing my Elohim with some foulness. Do understand that. Let's finish this up.
Then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets. And you shall be remembered before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days, in the beginnings of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim. So then, not only is the trumpet supposed to blow in war, you're supposed to blow the trumpet over everything. So our people get accustomed to hearing this shofar blow. Okay, so then you got these. They are the official ones, the ones that they made out of silver. But then you have the shofar, the trumpet of ram's horn. That would have been easier for everybody else to get. Ain't nobody got no whole piece of silver. Understand that? All right, that's something, because the offerings are brought to the temple, that the temple can purchase a whole piece of silver and make a horn out of it. But a regular man can go out there and get him a ram and take that horn off his head and clean it out, do what they got to do, and now they got a horn. Ain't no regular man got no whole piece of silver. Okay, you understand what that would be worth right now? A piece of silver big enough to make a horn. Do you understand what that would cost? So then Yahweh still has another way. This is the official thing. Okay, the official thing of the temple, because money is brought into the temple. Okay, but every man can get him a ram's horn. We sacrificing those. We offering up those. We can get us a ram's horn. That ain't gonna cost us no money. See, Yahweh made different paths.
He don't just make something so hey, if you don't have the money, you're not gonna be able to do this. No, that go a ram right there. Get him. You got your horn. And we're not talking about just a horn. We're talking about a horn that is representative of the Messiah himself, being the Lamb of Elohim. So when you deal with a ram, it's just a male sheep. Understand? So this has significance. But of course, we always run into, you go on YouTube, you're gonna find all the people with the kadu, which is the comes from one of them African antelope, but it's long and they like to sit it on the table when they doing their classes. That is not the right horn. You blow that horn, ain't no telling who's gonna show up. Lucifer, all his cousins, everybody, all the fallen angels. You don't know who the hell showing up when you blow that horn. He said, blow the ram's horn. When them priests went round, to make that wall fall, it was ram's horn that them priests blew. Not kadoos, which comes from an African antelope, which is what you see on most of the video. But what you got there, brother? I don't know nothing about the ram goat. I do not know about the ram, but here's the thing. A goat was still offered up upon Yahweh's altar. Understand something, okay? A kadu is never, an antelope is never offered on Yahweh's altar. A goat is, a ram is. You understand? So you got something that still goes back to Yahshua. That long horn that everybody have on their video, the blood of that has never been put on his altar. Never. They put it on there. It's easy to blow, but all sinful things are easy to do. What? There ain't no aptitude test to go in the whorehouse. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is show up. What? You got money? Well, come on in. It's real easy to qualify for sinful things, okay?
You don't have cash?
You know what I'm saying? There you go. You got cash out? You know what I'm saying? What? They make it real easy for you to do sin, okay? So it's always going to be easy. That it is. So that don't wonder because of that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 20. Now, I ain't never seen one of those, brother. I'd like to see that. The goat horn. But yeah, man, understand something. When you talk about what Yahshua was, what was he? They said you let go the scapegoat. One goat is sacrificed for the sin of the children of Israel, and another goat is let go in the wilderness. Yahshua became both of them goats. He was sacrificed for the sin of the children of Israel. Then he also was able to return. So understand something. Yeah, a goat is part of our, offering. Before I got in this word, man, you couldn't talk to me about eating no goat, because I grew up watching Sanford and Son, and the only person that had the goat was that crazy Spanish dude that was on there. You better get that goat out of here. That's all I knew about a goat. So then, I started hanging around with these Jamaicans, and they talking about, hey man, you eat some goat? Nah, brother, don't come to me with no goat. All right, don't do that, brother. Don't eat no goat. All right, so you going on away from here with that goat, Then I had some, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, do y'all have some more of that goat? Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Who we got over there? Hananiah. Go ahead, Hananiah.
No, I was just saying his name is Julio. It was
Julio. Appreciate that. I couldn't remember the name. Yep, it was Julio. He got upset with Julio and bringing that goat. Okay, so that's the goat. Goat horn. Yep, it looked a lot like a ram horn. The ram horn curved a little bit more on that. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 20, and let's start that at verse 1.
When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for Yahweh your Elohim is with thee, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be with you are come nigh unto the battle. And the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, we approach this day unto battle against your enemies, and let not your hearts faint. Fear not, and do not tremble, neither be terrified because of them.
Now, that's easier said than done. When we talk about those Africans, when we talk about going into Canaan land, Canaan are Hamites, or as we know as Africans. They said some of them were tall as trees. So, that's the difference between them people who talk, and then when it's time to go and do some stuff, they're not ready because all they did was run away from everything. You see Goliath, and I'll understand what it said about Goliath. Some of them had an extra finger on each hand and an extra toe on each foot. And you looking at a dude and he put like he give you 5, but he gave you 6. That part of the thing, give me 5, brother. No, I'll give you 6. Nah, hey man, where that extra finger come from? And then what'll throw you, it ain't just him. You mean all y'all got extra fingers and extra toes? Now they already big as all get out. And he said, have no fear. Yahweh, have you seen these people?
That's what the dude said.
Have you seen these people? Yahweh, there are giants over here. He said, yeah, I know. Have no fear. Okay, Yahweh, I don't have fear of a regular man with 5 fingers. That man got 6. And that man got extra toes. Okay? And then it ain't just him, Yahweh. A lot of them got extra fingers and extra toes. And they like 7, 8 feet tall. And not 7, 8 feet skinny tall. This is muscular tall. And he tells you, hey, go in, be not afraid. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Have you seen these people? And you telling me not to be afraid? That's what got us in trouble. That's what got us in trouble right there. So this
A 6-finger fail.
this is correct. This is a football player. Was J.J. Weaver? He played for Kentucky. He got 6 fingers. Wow.
They had a special with he went to a school with 2 kids at the same thing. 2 kids at the same thing. 6.
That's deep, bro. So he's a linebacker. He should have been a quarterback. He got 6. He got 6. Yeah, he should be able to throw that ball. He should be able to throw that ball and put an extra spin on it. I'm gonna hit it with my pinky. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put a spin on my pinky. You know what I'm saying?
Some stuff y'all can't show, dog.
They done showed, hey. And I mean, he taking a picture like this. So if y'all on the internet look for it, he said named J.J. Weaver. He played for Kentucky. He holding his hand up like this, and you can count all. And it ain't like you gotta see how some people have one coming out the pinky. No. It's in the whole hand. There's absolutely nothing that looks deformed about this. You just have to look at it and be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey man, what the hell are you? What the hell are you? Okay? Are you a Philistine? Are you a Philistine? Are you a Philistine? What the hell are you? Why do you have 6 fingers? And I mean, so when he slap you, he gonna slap the piss out of you. You understand what I'm saying, G? Does his fist get an extra, you know what I'm saying? You get a whole nother knuckle. You like, I feel like 2 people hit me.
I'm a side show and say, yeah, he was beat to death.
Yeah, man. He had a whole nother knuckle.
No.
No, he hit me on the side, but it wrapped around over here. How you get hit on both sides of your face at the same time? I don't know. Ask the dude with all those fingers. Okay. So Yahweh said, go in here, but don't be afraid. Have you seen their fists? Go ahead, brother. Yes,
I'm just saying he make an awesome guitar player.
you know what I'm saying?
Why?
Can't show him nothing else.
You know, hey, brother. Hey, but that was their complaint about these people that Yahweh is sending them up against. He's sending them up against people, and they're like, hey, man, these people look like giants, Yahweh. And you want us to go in here? Yeah, I want you to go in there. See, because what you are executing is not about you. They have done evil in my land. See, this is where the selfish can't serve Yahweh, because all they can think about is what's done to them. This ain't about you. Evil was done in my land. I need you to execute righteous judgment. In turn, I will then give you the land. This ain't about you. So if you selfish, step the hell out of the way. If all you're going to deal with is what happens with your family, please step the hell out of the way. Because this ain't about you. This is about his land. And if you let evil go on in his land, he going to remove us again. Go ahead.
For Yahweh your Elohim is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you.
To fight for Yahweh your Elohim is he that goes with you to fight for you against your enemies. That's why you got to call him. And you got to call him in his voice. See, you show respect in how you call him. You call him, it is he that fights for you. But then you have to ask yourself, are you leading the angel in a different direction than where the angel wants to go? Go ahead.
And officers shall speak unto the people, saying, what man is there that hath built a new house and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle and another man take her. And the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted?
Now this is where it gets interesting. Yahweh don't even want this kid. What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? See, when you're fearful and faint-hearted, all you want to do is take care of the things that's around you. And he already warns us of this danger. What it's going to do. Keep reading.
Let him go in his house.
Let him go, return unto his house. Go ahead.
Let him go return into his house, lest his brother's heart faint as well as his heart.
Now, so what does that mean? When we get off into something, we show, the wrong kind of fear, not fear as respect of Yahweh, but fear of man and fear of all these things. What does it do? It automatically spreads unto your brother. See, that's why people don't, think that when they justify something, it's exceedingly sinful. Just by you hanging around, showing something, it already spread to your brother. You didn't even have to speak up for an evildoer. All you had to do was show up with him. You automatically justified the evildoer when you showed up with him. Then when you speak for him, you on level 2 at that point. See, when you start breaking it down, you understand that folks don't understand Yahweh's law. And it don't matter if they've been in the word 10 years or 20 years. Self-will will break in between that, and it won't let you receive the things that you're supposed to receive. It says that the flesh and the spirit are enmities against one another. They are adversaries. So the spirit wants to do one thing, and then your flesh convinces it not to do it. Your spirit said, go home to your family, but your flesh said, stop over Keisha house. Right. Go ahead, bro.
And it shall be when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies and to make captains of the armies to lead the people. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it.
Okay, rules of engagement. Verse 10. When you come near unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. The first thing is, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to get out of this whooping. Okay? That's what we call a warning shot. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm gonna proclaim peace. Now we ought to be able to talk this out.
Not agree with peace, not that kind of peace, not agree with, I'm
No.
going with you.
No, not I'm going with you, peace.
Not that kind.
Not that kind. See,
And it's two kind of peace.
you damn right it is. Just like it's two kinds of what's up. One what's up mean hey.
Yeah.
Another what's up mean what's up. We about to get off into something up in here. Yeah. When you when you get that, you know, okay, we about to go. We about to do something.
I'm just trying to make sure what kind of peace you're talking about.
Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, a Spanish dude can walk up on you and not speak no English. You know y'all finna get the fight. Do you need to understand his words to know that he finna swing on you? No, you can look at his body movement. You can look at it like, hey, about to go down. Yeah, hey, it's about to go down up in here. I don't understand everything he's saying, but I know he about to swing. So, hey, we about to dance. He's sending you against another nation. You don't understand what they're saying. But you know what the stance of war look like. Okay. Go ahead, bro.
It shall be, if it make the answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be, that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee.
Tributaries, meaning that they shall serve you. And it says that afterwards. Go ahead.
And they shall serve you.
They shall serve you. So when you proclaim peace unto it, if they go with that peace, then they will be your servants. And you don't war against them. Go ahead.
And if it will make no peace with you, but will make war against you, then thou shalt receive. And when Yahweh your Elohim hath delivered it into thine hand, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword.
Now, why every male?
Because that's what keeps things going.
You know, understand something. The male not only is the soldier, but all of the children follow the seed of the male. So now you understand what happens to us in this country. They want to kill off the men. You notice they ain't hunting down sisters in the street. Why? Because they can use those sisters and procreate and use them, you know, to bring forth their children.
That's why they take the man up top.
Right. Understand something. So understanding warfare, it's the man who's the threat. And sometimes it's hard to explain that to our sisters that you don't know what we go through out here. They don't approach you the same way they approach me. You don't know what we go through out here. You think you know what we go through. And I've heard sisters say, it ain't all that difficult. I went to college. I got this. I got that. You a woman. They not warring against you the way they warring against me. Go ahead, bro. Kish.
You know, when we look at this whole thing, man, we always look at the fighting aspect of it. But when we back up to verse 11, there's also peace just don't come that easy. Because even though they make peace with you, they're now in subjection under you.
Right.
You have to be able to know how to deal with them.
Yep.
And put them under subjection.
You got it.
In servitude, we know don't come easy.
Yep.
So it ain't just like, all right, y'all cool with us, we cool with y'all, we'll see y'all next time around. No. We need some water. Y'all need to go get us some water.
Hey, And that's exactly what the book says. When it says, when I send you back to your land, the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. You're going to have God, but you're not going to tend to it. You're going to have a vineyard, but I ain't picking them grapes. Somebody going to pick them grapes for me. But we done already served. See, here's the thing. If you serve Yahweh your Elohim, then you don't have to serve man. Make your choice. But see, we can't serve our Elohim because we're too busy serving our family, serving our wife, serving our kids, serving all of these things. So you can't serve your Elohim. So what you got left after you done served everybody else? Now you want to give him your last 5 minutes of the day? He don't want that. Go get that to somebody else. Quick, did you have something else?
I was just gonna say, because even on the other side, these people's lives are forever changed from this day on.
You got that right. Not just that. I want them to understand what you mean by forever on. Do you understand that as we go back into the land, do you understand that there are servants that have been around Israel all this time? They will go back as servants, not Israel. Understand that. I don't think people get that. No, you will forever be tributaries. So then you're going to have some people go back to Israel and say, man, I must be an Israelite. Well, you a tributary to Israelite. Go ahead, brother. Don't piggyback off of nothing, because we don't eat pork. All right? All right? You keep your pig at home. You understand me?
It's a lot.
All right, well, we're gonna go to that. That brother just killed a goat, right? We're gonna go to that. Yeah.
Now, to add on to what he was saying, that's why, man, it's so important for us to get the spiritual part. Because, like you said, we don't know. We might go there expecting to be Israel.
Mm-hmm.
We might not be.
Exactly.
The people that saying that, oh, there's no spiritual Israel, that's nothing. That's the Gentile.
Right.
No, I mean, you gotta have that part first.
And consider that there's servants that's going to be preserved so they can go back in the land and serve Israel. And here's the thing: if you get to live forever, hey, we already servants here. What we gonna do? Complain if we find out, hey, you ain't natural Israel, you the son of a servant. Okay, do I get to live forever? Yeah. Well, I ain't then. What is y'all at? What y'all need? What y'all need? Y'all need some water? Y'all thirsty? Y'all thirsty? Is we thirsty? Is we thirsty? See what I'm saying? Hey, this ain't nothing new to us. We've been doing this. But you tell me I get to live forever in peace with this? Come on, man. Who need a drink of water first?
Right.
Go ahead.
And that's the dangers of what was being said earlier when you got these brothers out in the corner looking at the Gentile and saying this is Esau because of the color of his skin.
Right.
You're going to get to find out there's Esau that look just like you.
Just like you.
You're going to get to realize that you're going to find Israelites that light bright and damn near white.
Yep.
So stop looking at skin color and thinking you can determine who is who.
Exactly.
And I've always said the whole thing is not about natural Israel. We need to focus on spiritual Israel because a lot of us gonna get there and find, what you mean? Oh, my great granddaddy was Massa? Hey,
We found out that Massa planted a lot of seeds that didn't go into the ground. Okay. he planted a lot of seeds in a lot of areas. Go ahead, Brother Absalom.
But women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, thou shalt take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which Yahweh your Elohim hath given thee.
So then understand, but the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, you shall take unto yourself. See, it matters which things he has designated belongs to him and which things that he has designated that belongs to you. If you take something that is designated as his, you have now taken up the accursed thing. It is a curse because you took Yahweh's stuff. And if you don't understand which stuff belongs to Yahweh, how can you possibly serve as a servant to him? You don't even know which stuff is his. How can you guard his stuff if you don't know which stuff belongs to him? You don't even know which stuff to guard. Go ahead.
Thus shalt ye do unto all the cities which are very far off from you, which are not of the cities of those nations, but the cities of those people which Yahweh your Elohim doth build for you for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth.
Okay, see now it gets interesting. He says this is what you do on the cities that are very far off from you, but close to you, where you gonna be? Everything that breathes, kill it. See, you got to understand what the rules of engagement are. See, now let's say somebody go in there, you know what, I'm gonna show love to these because they nice. Wait a minute, they too close to us. See, your love about to get us killed. Go ahead.
But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, as Yahweh your Elohim hath commanded. That they teach you not to do after all their abominations.
That is what the whole thing is about. See, we hang out with people and we pick up their ways. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to understand that. See, when you hang out with somebody, you share some kind of common interest, and then you say, well, you know what? They cool. They all right. What's happening? You are normalizing the things that they do. They are teaching you to do the same abominations that they do. So first, this is why I said, listen to the words that proceed out of somebody's mouth, because a mouth, what comes out of the mouth is an indication of what's in the heart. They can try to tell you, well, I didn't mean it like that. No, it came out of your mouth for a reason. It came out of your mouth for a reason. People didn't get drunk. Well, you know, I said that because I was drunk. No, you didn't say it because you was drunk. You couldn't hold it in because you was drunk. All right. Now that's something totally different. And so you couldn't keep it in. It was already in here. But when you had that drink, them lips got loose. You get to lubricating them lips and stuff fall out. Then you want to try to suck it back up in. You can't take it back. It came out your mouth. Go ahead.
Which they have done unto their gods, so shall you be, so shall you sin against Yahweh your Elohim.
Once you start doing what they do, you have learned their ways because they are close to you. See, here goes another thing. We just go out and look for a house anywhere, not understanding. Hey, who live near you? We don't even know we said, we think we in sport. You gonna learn their ways because them your neighbors. But we so smart, you can't tell us nothing. Go ahead.
And you shall besiege a city a long time, and making war against it to take it. You shall not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, but thou mayest eat of them. And thou shalt not cut down the tree of the field is a man's life, to employ them in the sea.
Kids, you were just cutting down trees yesterday, man. You just violated your Elohim. I'm sorry, but there was one fruit tree. There was one fruit tree. All right, you get a pass. You get a pass. And with no fruit growing on them trees, on no fruit. But see, you won't even think that that's sinful.
My ex-wife had a pet tree. I just told her about this stuff. I went to the yard and saw it. My granddad used to have a pet tree, you know. And it got pets, so I walked over. I said, "Oh, they ain't take care of it. They ain't sprayed it, slowed it down, and nothing." I texted her and told us, "Hey, we spray that tree with pesticides and this and that to get the bug stuff going." I go to the next week, it's gone. I said, "What are you doing? Why did you cut the tree off? It was producing fruit. Why did you cut it off?" "Oh, it was just a problem." I was like, dang, man, like you just took food out somebody's mouth.
But that don't mean nothing to you when you got a Walmart down the street. When the Walmart closed, then you're gonna miss that tree.
Yeah.
She cut the tree down because you was eyeing the tree.
Exactly. That you brought attention to that tree. That tree died because of you. Had you not said that, that tree would still be over there. That tree might be like, I might have a few bugs, but I'm living. You the one got that tree killed. See, you the one got that. That tree was like, boy, I tell you, these snitches get us killed every time. You know, she ain't even pay me no attention to you, Kane. Go ahead, brother. We finish that up.
Last verse 20. All of the trees which you know that they be not trees for meat. You shall destroy and cut them down, and you shall build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with you until it is.
All right. Let's go to chapter 21. Deuteronomy 21 and let's see here. I'm just hoping they can still hear here. Brother Kish, you read Deuteronomy 21 and verses 10 through 17.
When you go forth to war against your enemies, and Yahweh your El has delivered them into your hands, you have taken them captive, and seized among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that you would have her to your wife.
Now, understand something. So now you have this thing where men go to war. Okay. Now, you know, you understand the whole situation of having this separation. And then when you look at those things where they go out, they kill those men, those women are still there amongst that country. There's protocol on how you deal with that. Go ahead.
Then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in your house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that, you shall go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be your wife.
All right, protocol. So then we got verse 12. You shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. What's that about?
You know, for old husbands,
A head is shaved at the completion of a vow. She is no longer, it's not just about the husband, but the other God that she used to worship too. Mm-hmm. See? So then you go into verse 13. It says, she shall remain in your house and bewail her father and her mother a full month. After that, you shall go in unto her. What's that about? Making sure that she ain't already pregnant. So you can't just go, because you know, we like, you know what? I fell in love tonight. You know what I'm saying? You know what? It's right now. Look here. It's Tuesday. We've been together all day. Look here. Now, what if she already got a seed in that oven that you don't know nothing about? Now, where you were supposed to kill off all the males, now you just let one of them come through. Now, what if he rise up and kill all your people? All because you feel extra festive on Tuesday night. Protocol. Go ahead, bro.
I don't want to start nothing right here. But, okay. For the people that have a problem with multiple wives, and I heard before people say that multiple wives is named for the king. You know what I mean? It's not for the common Israelite.
Them people ain't reading this book, but go ahead.
When that's what I was getting to, like this right here, but I don't remember what we just read it when y'all were saying, like, you know, you got the family hard and the one that just got married, whatever, you know, keeping her home and stuff like that. But for those men that's going to war, I mean, I can't, yeah, then I can't, and they don't say, but I'm sure they're married, I'm sure they're
right. Right. So that also means that ain't no wife out there to okay their union, you know, so you know that's a false doctrine. See, you know that's a false doctrine. But see, we can't let false doctrine keep going just because we like the people who spread the false doctrine. Mm-hmm. See, this ain't about liking you or disliking you. This is about you will not lie on my Elohim. That's what this is about. Understand that. Go ahead.
You know, even with what you're talking about, you got to think about it. You out to war. You said you out to war and you see this beautiful woman. Then you take her back to your house. You gonna run back home first, say, baby. You know,
Yeah, you know what? Hey, let me talk to you for a second. Can I talk to you for a second? You got a minute? You got a minute? But understand now, you if you brought her back, she already there. If you left her, somebody else got.
It was right here, y'all.
She was right.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the woman who was standing by these goats?
Yeah, that's what you call a wife.
You know what I'm saying? Oh no. When you left, they figured you didn't want her.
Well, I had to go talk to the wife.
I had to go ask.
Make sure.
You know, I had to go get permission.
You know, church furniture got thrown, but I still came back.
Right. No, bro. No, you done missed out. Done deal.
But the man was not. It's so much.
And women don't go to war, so ain't nobody. She ain't there.
Right, she not there, and it's so much to. When you're dealing, like you said, you start something. It's so much to unpack. It's so much to unpack right here that if we started, you started.
It's good, bro.
Like,
They said, and the word started. The word, I ain't starting that. It's in the word. Then you got a problem. Yeah, but you don't have a problem with me. You don't have a problem with me.
There's no problem. I don't have any problem with this. Women have problem with this.
Right.
Women have problem, and they can read. The man is not made for the woman, but the woman for the man.
Right.
But they still some kind of way. Oh, never mind. Stop. No, but some kind of way. Hold on. For some reason, they try to get or insert themselves into decisions that they insert themselves into your position.
Right.
And push something that they wanted from down in their position.
Right. Well, you look at what happened in the garden. That's how the adversary, the devil, works. He never had any interest in destroying the woman.
Right.
His whole interest was destroying the man. Remember, man, it was said, let us make man in our image. All right. So what the adversary wants to do is defile what was made in God's image. The woman wasn't made in God's image. He just uses the woman to destroy the man. So when the man decides that he's going to listen to his woman over his Elohim, he has then allowed her to become a god to him. See, that you have men that will voluntarily bow down to the power of their woman. The man was made in Elohim's likeness. So the adversary will go through the kids. He will go through the wife. He will go through any of them. That is not his objective. His entire objective the entire time is to get to the head of that house, to get to that man. Had that woman just eaten from that tree and he didn't eat, he could make intercession for his wife and clean up his house. But when he decided to take on her thoughts and her views and her direction, he left the house without an intercessor. So Lucifer killed the house by coming through the back door. Go ahead, Kish.
And even with that, Yahweh let you know what he had a problem with. He said, because you decided to hearken
Exactly.
to the voice of your wife.
Because you decided to listen to your wife. And somehow we still, in 2021, we still had the same problem. We still got the same problem.
It's looked at from women from a selfish perspective, or from when you take something that's righteous and make it unrighteous because of how you feel about it, it becomes a feeling thing instead of a righteous and unrighteous thing.
Right.
And because we wasn't created for the woman, I'm not saying that, oh, you just get up and do what you want to do. That's not
right
how. I don't want anybody to think that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that man go to the whorehouse, pick up a woman, and do what he want to do.
And you have to clarify that, because I know some strange Hebrews. I know some strange Hebrews that believe that, you know, hey, they smoking crack for Yahweh. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You know, so you strangely enough, you got to clarify that, because there's some people that will swear, you know.
I know. My brother did.
Hey, Hey,
He claimed that he's showing them.
he should, yeah, right.
That
See,
they can keep the Sabbath. They can smoke.
exactly.
They
I
smoke
can
this.
show them how to do it. So I be behind the car wash. Man, if you don't get out in front of my damn face.
But I've had to say, you know, because if you don't deal with things in a righteous manner, then you automatically make what the woman said is right.
It makes you look at that situation. That's why I say when you go back to what happened with Yaakov and his wives that Yahweh forced him to have,
right.
but we looked at the prophecy, those 12 wells of water and them 70 palm trees was about the 12 tribes of Israel and the 70 souls that went into Egypt. He had to go in that way. So those things were ordained by Yahweh. And it wasn't, nobody floated into the house. It was all trouble and turmoil and deceit. And it was still all Yahweh. Yeah, that's what makes people so they see something and they like, you know, something didn't feel right to me, so it can't be of Yahweh because it didn't feel right to me. This brother went over there, thought he was gonna be over there a couple weeks, and Yaakov ended up over there with his family 20 years. Okay, it was all of Yahweh, every last bit of it. He wanted to establish him outside of where he was going to stay. Yahweh was doing it.
I spoke to him yesterday after the class, and I said, you know, we're looking at Yaakov because we went over.
But now I got you coming here.
I'm sorry, bro. We went over part of that, but then you can read in the scripture where it says that, I mean, you're not supposed to, like where it says you don't lay uncles.
Right, you should not be with your sister.
It says sister. So when you say, yeah, but these things this wasn't his deal.
Yeah,
not at all.
Like, he didn't do that on his own.
It was done outside of his will. He was deceived into being with two sisters.
Yeah.
And it was the daddy that did it.
Right. So then I was like, man, look at this. He wasn't supposed to do that, but Jacob didn't do that.
No, he didn't do that. But see, people don't see, you know, that part of it. Go ahead, Benay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to add. That's such a hot button topic to have with sisters, some brothers even, that they even will say.
Of course, the brothers, them henpeck brothers, you throw out some corn and they go to pecking. You know, so it's hard to have that conversation with them henpeck brothers because they worry what the hen gonna say.
Exactly, and I'm saying you might be rushing to a place that you hate how the earthly form was made. And you're going to walk up to Elohim. Now, first of all, they're going to say it's not a commandment. We get that. But it's provided in Israel and it's totally righteous to do. And all it takes is some sister who have such disdain for it, start calling it evil.
Right.
It's derived from lust. And then there'd be some brother trying to get to play with the sister and just be like, yeah, that's lust too.
Right.
And then don't know. You won't go running up to him on that last day and have that in your heart because it's all about transforming of the mind and the heart. And have that disdain for how his earthly kingdom was made. How you think that's gonna go?
Right. And what's funny is that people said, you know, I want to go to heaven. Well, you do know, folks said, well, I want to go to the pearly gates. They just see two gates that in their mind in the pearly gates. It's like, wait a minute, it's a gate for each one of those tribes. Do you understand that those 12 tribes came from one man with 4 wives? You do understand that? And the Christians be horrified. What? I said, I guess you didn't read your book. I guess you didn't read about the heaven place that you think you're going, that you will not be going to. Right. Okay, by the way. Right. But you should at least understand the foundation of it, what was put on earth in representation of what is in heaven. You should have some kind of understanding of that since you claim you want to go.
Exactly.
It would.
We got our itinerary.
You know, so how you know, it is amazing how those things end up going, man. But at the end, Yahweh's gonna fix all that because he says, what? I'm gonna make a man more precious than gold. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how y'all want to take that, but understand something. The only way to make a man more precious is by killing off a lot of them. Okay? Because there's this simple thing of supply and demand. See, right now, women already outnumber us. But wait till Yahweh start killing off men. Then people gonna, you're gonna find sisters hiding in the bushes. When he go by here, I'm gonna grab his legs. You grab one, I grab the other. Girl, don't worry about it. We can share him. Look here, we're gonna tackle him when he comes through here. We're gonna get this man. We're gonna hunt for this man. He said, I'm gonna make a man more precious than gold. So when you start killing them off, then you start realizing, oh, wait a minute. They're more valuable than I once thought.
Mm-hmm.
Their worth is way more. This is why it says in Isaiah 4, 7 women shall grab hold of one man, saying, I provide my own food. I will provide my own clothing. Just give me your name to take away my reproach.
Mm-hmm.
See,
mm-hmm.
So, but we got to get to that point. See, that's a mindset change that has to happen. And let me tell you something about my Elohim. He is absolutely amazing at giving you perspective.
Oh yeah.
He's absolutely amazing. So right now, them same ones who having all that hard talk, wait till some situation and circumstances present themselves, and you're gonna see that talk change.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Kish. Let's finish
Verse
this up.
14. And it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall let her go, whether she will. But you shall not sell her at all for money. You shall not make merchandise of her, because you have humbled her.
Check that out. See, there's certain things that Yahweh don't allow. Hey, once you went there physically, you have no power to do certain things because of what you have done. Go ahead.
If a man have 2 wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated.
First of all, why would a man hate his wife? See, a man will hate his wife because she decides she wants to do her own thing. Why would he hate his wife? She said, I ain't listening to you. Go ahead.
In the situation of Yaakov, if he was angry with the first one, he could be because she had to go along with the plan.
Yeah.
She could have woke him up.
She woke him up. She woke him up. She woke him up. He was definitely up. He was definitely up. Ain't no doubt about that. But go ahead, brother. Keep reading. I'm about to lose my PG rating. I'm about to lose my PG rating. Come on, bro. Hurry up and read.
When he maketh his son to inherit that which he has, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he has. For he is the beginning of his strength, the right of the firstborn is his.
Now, what you have in here, as the brother Benel was saying, it's not law that something that a man has to do something, but what Yahweh has is he has in his law how you deal with inheritance if you have more than one wife. You can't just decide that, you know what? I married this one and she nicer than the other one. No, it don't work like that. The inheritance goes to the child, that first child that was born. He gets a double portion. You do not get to move around the inheritance because you feel some type of way. Because the person that older is going, the longest going to treat you different than the person you met last week. Because see, already got some stuff established now. You know what I'm saying? Already got some stuff established. You got the gold chain now. You ain't had no gold chain when you met the first one. You know what I'm saying? So she treats you a little bit different. Yahweh is taking care of all of these things. That's why we have to go through his law so we can take away what we think, feel, and believe. But this is gonna be the last one that we're gonna read for today. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12. I thank y'all for hanging in there with me. Y'all know I done got real long-winded since I got out the hospital. It's something about not being able to talk. Cause y'all, a lot of people don't think about that, man. When I had that trait in, I had all this stuff hooked up. Hey, bro, I couldn't talk.
Right.
And now I guess brother can talk. I can't stop. Revelation chapter 12. And Brother Kish, start that at verse 7.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
So all them people that think they're going to heaven, what kind of problem you gonna have when you get up there and angels fight? You can't even stand between your Uncle Elroy, you know, and his little fights, but you gonna sit there and stand in between angels fight. Y'all move, y'all know Elroy strong.
I ain't talking all this.
Yeah. Y'all, you know what, baby, let's go home. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? This is not what we came for. They about to tear up grandmama furniture. Yeah. But you want to go to heaven, and one angel can tear up the earth. And you got angels fighting, warring against each other with some weaponry that we probably couldn't even comprehend. Did he just shoot out a fireball? Did he throw a knife that turned into an explosion? What was that? You want to stand in between that. You going to heaven, and this is what's going on there. Right. See, people didn't even really think that lie through. They didn't really think that lie through. Go ahead.
And prevail not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole earth. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Now, this means that as we get down to the closing of all these things, there's going to be an increased demonic presence here on earth, where you start seeing people do some things that just does not add up. It just doesn't make good sense. What's happening? Those demons are using their bodies. The angels that were thrown out, what do we call fallen angels? Demons. But they are angels. They take over that body, use that body to do whatever they want to do. Go ahead.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his anointed one. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
They accused them before our Elohim day and night. Go ahead.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Right. We all got to overcome. Not some of us. Not, a few of us. No, you got to overcome. To overcome, that means you got to deal with some things. Go ahead.
And by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great anger, because he knows that he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
The woman that brought forth the man-child is Israel. Israel is the woman that brought forth the seed that would become Yahshua, the son of Elohim. So he went to make war against the woman. Go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
So understand, we must carry ourselves in a certain way that when Yahweh offers the help, that we are able to receive that help. But see, if we got cursed things among us, the spirit cannot dwell among us. Go ahead.
And the dragon was angry with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahshua, the Mashiach.
So then if we, put all those things together, then we understand that there are responsibilities that the children of Israel must deal with, so that when it's time to receive the help from Yahweh, that we are spiritually able to receive that help. If we put ourselves in a cursed nature because of things that we refuse to deal with, things that we left amongst us, when something defiles the land of Israel, it defiles the whole land, and we are all in jeopardy. So if all you care about is your family, then you are doing all of us harm. It says, you shall do these things and cut wickedness out of the land. Not wickedness out of your house, not wickedness out of your neighborhood, wickedness out of the entire land. So you either deal with this or it spreads out and consumes all of us. And I know that you guys are normally accustomed to us ending with a prayer. We started with our prayers. We're starting to do those so that we don't interrupt our broadcast. We do them before and whatnot, so that we don't have to, keep stopping within the broadcast. But that is all that we're going to do for today. Y'all's will, we will do this, and I have to work with my brothers. They don't like censorship, but they don't like censorship. So we may or may not do it every week, but we're gonna start. Right now it's the 4th Sunday of the month that we will have our brothers fellowship, and it is one of those things where a lot of the brothers don't have an opportunity to sit down and talk scripture with people, with like-minded people, because there's no one around them in their town. So we will try to keep providing this, provided that my brothers can deal with the censorship. But that's all that we're going to do for today. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.